When we think of beekeeping in the apicultural world, the term urban beekeeping is a new concept. Just what are the urban beekeepers doing to keep this practice going? In this small documentary of the lives of urban beekeepers, Benny will be heading to the Dublin Honey Show. Then we'll be heading to John and Kim, who will be interviewing Anthony, a beekeeper dedicated to keeping it green and who has a true love for bees, and an interview from Kieran Hartnett. Katie and Lucy will be inquiring about his experience with keeping bees and the depth of knowledge he possesses in his 25 years of beekeeping.
Can you tell me if you've witnessed, especially in the larger honey shows that you've been attached to in the past, have you seen a huge scale of urban beekeeping increase, and has the quality been increasing year on year with the new information?
It has. I mean, the urban honeys are becoming really very flavoursome as well, because more and more people are understanding the value of the bees. They're planting more different plants and trees, so we're getting different nectars, which is giving us a different flavoured honey.
So we could be quite grateful to our garden centres and horticultural fanatics that are planting like crazy.
We can, yes, as long as they're not going to spray them with any pesticides, which of course isn't a good thing for the bees.
Well, my basic understanding of urban beekeeping is we're quite lucky that pesticides are not popular with the communities anymore.
Correct.
Which is great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Although,
more and more people are going for the organic.
Well, my geraniums might do they've definitely got
Your geraniums are useless.
What would you recommend?
They're not a good plant. Really, the herbs are all very good. The rosemaries and the sages, so the salvias. Anything with a simple flower.
Phenomenal. That's brilliant
is just
information.
What we need to know. Yes, so that's really the best for the bees, because they can get right into the centre of it.
Let's start this with, what inspired you to start beekeeping?
A woman asked me if I look after her beehives, and I owed her a favour, so that's how I started beekeeping.
And you enjoy it now? Brings you?
That's one of the best things that ever happened to me in my life, yeah. Took me about a year. I hated them for a good while because I was getting bashed every time I went down. I'm self-taught, so I didn't know what I was doing at the start. So
You're self-taught?
Yeah, I was getting kicked around every time I went to visit a hive, so I hated them for a good while. And then one day I just saw it clicked and I fell in love.
What are the benefits that the bees bring you?
Calmness, patience, mindfulness. I think that's just a bit of a buzzword, but it really means, like, when you're with the bees, nothing else in the world is there. You're just there with them, and it's a real experience, you know.
What do you think they bring to the area around you?
Well, the area around us not much, because the Liberties is the lowest green space in the country, so they haven't got much to forage. Mainly the Phoenix Park, but they bring a lot to the kids around here, because I constantly bring the school kids in, or I visit every primary school in the area with the hive every spring. So. And
what kind of problems have you faced while building this?
Funding, really, like just trying to support it. It's because I do everything, like the whole thing is to give everything out for free, like all the classes and stuff.
Yeah.
How I do it is I get office blocks to sponsor me beehives, and then I give them social media stuff and all, and I install the hives on the offices.
How do you see the future of beekeeping in the city?
I don't know. It's I enjoy it, but I don't think too many people should do it. You know, because it creates competition with other bees, and you don't want to push the other bees out. I'd rather people increase the greenery in the city than more bees. Like, there's no point in getting loads of bees when we haven't got enough green space in the. I done that at the start. Like, I got loads of bees, not understanding, because I was new to beekeeping. That if there's not enough forage in them, then you're just constantly feeding them, and then you're creating competition for wild bees. So that's when, after I figured that out, I brought the amount of hives I had down.
All right, well, thank you for meeting with us. Our first question is just, what variety of bees do you keep?
I keep native Irish honeybees, Apis mellifera mellifera. I'm a member of the Native Irish Honeybee Society, so I'm all about keeping our bees kind of genetically pure and trying to stop them being hybridized from all the imports.
What challenges have you faced with having so many hives?
It's time management is the usual constraint. There's a cost-benefit analysis that goes on that the more hives you have, the less attention to detail you can put into each individual hive. So eventually you start losing swarms, and it becomes a kind of self-defeating exercise. So you kind of have to decide where you're at. And that's one of the things when you start out beekeeping, is not to expand too quickly. A lot of people get really enthusiastic and they collect swarms and they divide their hives, and they end up with more hives than their skill level can actually manage, and then it all becomes a bit too much for them. them and things start going pear-shaped and they give up or throw their hat at you know.
Yeah.
Has there been a community of experienced beekeepers available for you to learn upon when faced with problems?
That depends on your definition of experienced. But I'm a member of the Beekeepers Association, and I'd recommend anybody who wants to become a beekeeper to join their local association, because when you don't know much at the start, it gives you a mentor system and also valuable local knowledge, because you can look at things in books and on YouTube, but they don't necessarily apply to Dublin or Cork, or even it's as specific as that. Like what beekeeping in the country is different from beekeeping in the city, and beekeeping in Kerry is very different from beekeeping in Dublin. So,
In our exploration of the lives of urban beekeepers, our interviewees present us the facts that no two experiences are the same. It shifts from person to person. But both Anthony and Kiernan's answers help show us that their experiences have helped them grow and that we can learn from everybody. While Sue gives us the outsider's perspective of what plants help benefit the bees and furthermore the beekeepers. Overall, urban beekeeping is a skill that is lifelong, and maybe someday you'll mind someone's bees and fall in love too.
Your juicy just reward these shall be. You get your head down and keep her lit.